Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. From their innovative ceramic materials to sexy automatic divers, from ultra-thin dress watches to solar-powered statement pieces, and everything in between, Movement is making sure you're the good gifter this year for your family, your friends, or for yourself. And now you can take advantage of 30 to 50% off Movement's California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories to get them a gift they'll never forget. With fast, free shipping and returns and amazing bang for your buck, Movement makes for a relaxed shopping experience. And with one-size-fits-all watches, it's an easy, elegant gifting experience too. Shop 30 to 50% off now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Adam, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite co-hosts, Becca and Nicole.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. So one of us has a very delayed connection right now. I'm not going to name names.
Oh no!
But I think it'll be fine. The clap was a little.
Yeah. See, the thing is I never noticed the delay, and
Right.
I think everything's great, and then you guys are probably waiting 5 seconds for me to finish talking, and so it's just really awkward for you.
No, it'll be fine. Oh, but today we're talking about winterizing our plants, or winterizing your plants. Getting ready for winter, prepping for the winter. But first we do our catch-ups. I'm going to start with Becca because I know that it snowed yesterday in Illinois, and Nicole's kind of feisty today, so we're going to give her a little bit of time to calm down while Becca gives us the update. Before she comes in here dropping the explicit bomb.
Yeah.
All right.
We got to give
Smart.
parents just a few minutes of bliss before they have to turn it off
Yeah.
because Nicole drops an F-bomb.
They got to
you know
drop
what?
the kids off at school and
Yeah, exactly.
catch me on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I say, man, when my kids are growing up, if someone throws an F-bomb, I think I'll just let them hear it. I mean, it's just a word, right?
Yeah.
It's just a word.
Yeah. Why not?
But to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, well, oh, sorry.
I just said to
I
each
feel
their
like-
own. Oh God, there's a delay. Here it is. Now I feel it. It's so awkward.
Here it is.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't have experience in the parenting department, but I feel like when you make something taboo for kids, it makes them want to do it or even more. So if you're like, oh, you cannot say that, then the first time they get mad at you, they're just going to be like, fuck off, mom.
Yeah.
Totally.
Mia's going to be 15 in a couple weeks, and I've seen some of her text messages between friends, and I see a curse word here and there, but I've never heard her swear before. She's just never done it. And I was like, as she's texting me, that's creepy. I was like, do you swear around your friends? And she's like, oh yeah, sometimes. And I was like, so why don't you swear at home? She's like, because I could never. And I was like, why don't you just try it? Maybe it might make you feel a little bit better. I'm one of those moms. I'm just listen, if you're swearing with your friends, what's the harm in saying shit if you drop a plate? Let the anger out that way. Don't bottle it up inside, Plus, I swear I read somewhere that people that swear a lot are very intelligent, but my IQ is probably not that high, so I don't know if that's true.
A self-aware queen.
You are very smart.
Oh, thank you.
That is so funny.
But yeah, I don't care.
I never swore in front of my parents. I still feel weird. In front of my mom, not really, but in front of my dad, I don't think I would ever. I've also never heard my dad swear in my life. Never.
What?
Never.
Really?
Wow.
Maybe the worst thing I've ever heard him say was maybe one time he said ass, like, but I really don't think. And he like smacked himself. You know, there was like a good reason for it. Like anybody would let out the F word, but he like said like something. I don't even know what he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've heard my mom say things here and there, and my sister
Gosh
swears
darn
in-
it.
yeah, my sister swears in front of my mom. I don't know if she does in front of my dad, but it's weird. It's like this like leveling up as an adult where you're like, oh, can I talk like that in front of my parents?
Yeah. I think I started when I was out of high school or like late high school. I think but I would never say like really bad words like the F word or like, you know,
The C word.
you can bleep that out, Adam. Let people try to guess what that was.
Okay, so my update. I have so many things to say, but this is not a Patreon episode. Like, we need to record a Patreon episode right now. This is Patreon vibes.
Yeah.
But
You got to get it out.
first thing I'll say is I went to the dentist. And for anybody with dental shame, dental anxiety, this is for you. So this is an encouragement to just go. Okay? It sucks, but it's good to just go. I haven't been to the dentist in a couple of years because we moved and then COVID happened and it just was not a priority, right? So basically, I went to the dentist after Daniel was like, you have to go. So I went. And I mean, I don't usually get cavities, so I wasn't expecting much. Well, it turns out I've got some stuff going on in there. Thankfully, just cavities. But I will say it's very, how do I say this? It's very strange for me to get cavities. Even, you know, despite going years between dental visits, I never had cavities. But this time was different. And I went on like a forensic study of my mouth. Like, what have I done different? Okay, I'm sorry. I could just hear Nicole talking to her somebody. I just hear Nicole go,
My mom, you know, she's like, are you done? Are you done? Are you? And I'm not answering her. And then I finally have to.
I thought that you were talking to your dog.
I was like, no. Sorry, I was
so-
definitely paying attention to you.
Oh, no, that's fine. So I was trying to figure out what I have changed in the last year that made this so different from my previous dental visits. Because when they were doing the teeth cleaning, it wasn't like it was normal. It wasn't like extra scraping or, you know, my gums weren't disturbed. There wasn't that much bleeding. But then I find out the amount of cavities I have, and I was shocked, like shocked. The dentist was acting kind of like he was a douche. Like he was one of those people. Okay, see, they wouldn't tell me the number, and that's what really annoyed me. They were like, "You got a lot of cavities." I'm like, "Okay, there was only so many teeth. Like, how many?" Like they just kept saying like they were being so vague, and I was like, so. I don't know. And like they were like asking me how much sugar I eat. They were asking me if I like brush and floss. I'm like, I brush twice a day. I floss 1 to 2 times a week and I use mouthwash every day. And they're like, okay, well, and like the dentist was like talking to the hygienist, like, does it like the condition of the teeth, like, is there like regular at home care? And she's like, yes. So he was just, I think maybe he was puzzled why there were so many, but I think I figured it out. Okay. So fluoride, you guys know fluoride. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So here's a big thing. The toothpaste that I was using for most of this year did not contain fluoride. There you go. Fluoride is like one of our best defenses against cavities. Okay. I've been using fluoride toothpaste my entire life.
Yes.
And then I switched to Bite toothpaste, the pellet toothpaste that you like chew up.
Oh.
And
I was seriously going to say something about toothpaste because I feel like I'm on this rabbit hole right now too. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So that's the only change I made to my oral care. If anything, I started flossing more this year because I was like, oh, I haven't been to the dentist. I should probably be flossing just in case. And that's the only thing I changed. Yeah. That's the only thing I changed was my toothpaste. And when I changed my toothpaste, I did not think to myself, oh, let's make sure we get one with fluoride. Because it just never a thought because toothpaste always has fluoride in it. In my, like what I usually buy, like Crest or whatever.
So have you been using Bite all year?
Pretty much. Like at least like 6 months of the year I was using it. And a lot of the cavities were like new. Yeah. There were 2 that were definitely older, but like most of them were newer. They're like, you don't necessarily have to get these filled. Like you can maintain them, but they're not going to get better. You know what I mean? So like
I feel like you've been using Bite for longer than that because when we were visiting in June of 2021, I think you were using it then.
You know, I think I was. It's hard. Like I don't want to like say like, oh, I've been using it for 2 years because I haven't looked back at the emails of like when I first ordered. But like, yeah, I did stop using it a few months ago because I was getting
or maybe.
Oh, what?
Or maybe it was Lush, because I used the Lush pills too. Maybe you had the Lush pill. I just remember like toothpaste pills.
No, I used Bite. I didn't even know Lush had that.
Me neither.
Okay. Well,
so because
yeah,
that's what I was going to say because like, I'm sorry.
There's
the delay is so bad. Let me check what internet I'm on. What the heck, man?
Should we call each other back?
No, I'm on the wrong freaking internet. Oh.
Well, okay, good. Problem
good, because I didn't want to suffer that whole episode.
Are we here?
We're here.
Okay. I was on the... okay, I've got 2 internet networks. One that I upload on, which is slow. To like for this kind of stuff, like the ping is not great. And then one that I do FaceTime and stream on, and I was on the wrong one. And I'm uploading a video on the internet network I was just on. So it was way worse than it normally would be. Is it better now?
Your audio's fine, but your video's kind of choppy, but that doesn't matter. Like as long as we're on the same wavelength.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I was, and Bite does have a fluoride toothpaste bit, apparently, because I was researching it. I was not buying the one with fluoride. I was just buying the main one that they were advertising at the time. And I think maybe the fluoride one is new. I'm not sure. But in any case, there was a period of time when I was not using fluoride toothpaste. And I am willing to bet that most of the cavities that I have occurred during that time.
When people don't use fluoride, like, why would they take it out of toothpaste? I don't know a lot about teeth, but why?
Yeah, well, I think it has something to do with the FDA. Like, to have fluoride be in, like, that pellet form, it's, like, not regulated by the FDA or something like that. Like, the FDA can't regulate it. I don't know. Because I was trying to figure out why they would not even have it, and it was something with the FDA.
Okay. My journey with fluoride was the fact that it is a byproduct of aluminum, which is weird. Okay. And so, as well as like antiperspirants in deodorant. And so I stopped using antiperspirants in like college because I was like, people said it was linked to like Alzheimer's, dementia, like, and you're absorbing it into your pores. So then I also I didn't really try. Then I was like, well, fluoride is also a byproduct of this. Like, that can't be great for you. So I was like wanting to not use it. And I did switch to like all natural toothpastes akin to like what Bite is. And I just noticed, again, I have a lot of dental anxiety and I need to go to the dentist. And our friend of the pod, Steve, sent me a DM because he must have listened to our episode where I talked about a hole in my tooth. And he was like, dude, you need to go to the dentist. I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
But I have since switched back to like my tried and true Crest toothpaste with fluoride in it because I was like, I feel like this is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like why things are happening faster than they really would have. Like my whole life, I've had cavities before, but like I don't know. I was like, I think I need the fluoride toothpaste.
Yeah.
Is fluoride bad?
Okay, see, that's what I was looking up to. I think it's just if you are eating it, if you're ingesting large quantities. Like, we're not ingesting it when we brush our teeth. Like,
Right.
there might be like some residual after you brush your teeth, but you wash your mouth out. Like, it's not like it's safe to use to brush your teeth. And okay, I'm not a dentist,
Because
but I have done some significant research after this because I was shocked. I was mortified. I've like mutilated my body. That's how I felt, honestly. I cried a lot. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I was like really horrified. And like the dentist was being a real, like in my mind, okay, so we're back on the record.
Yeah.
So the dentist was being like very solemn, you know, because it is a high number. It's a little shocking. But I was just like, can you just tell me how many? Because they had not given me a number. They were just being really cryptic. And it was annoying. I'm like, why are you acting like that? And like he like touched my shoulder. Like he felt bad for me. I'm like, can you not? Like, don't touch me. Like, this is weird. Like,
Ew,
I'm not dying. I have
as many mouths that these people look into each day, they're going to give you shit. Like, your teeth are fine. Oh my God, that's annoying.
I know. Well, it did make me, like, I set up a 6-month appointment. I used to go every 6 months when I was a kid, you know? So
Me too.
I set up a 6-month appointment and I'm just going to go because when I was leaving, I kept running my tongue over my teeth and I'm like, wow, my teeth feel like very like slimy and like it just like so, like my teeth felt different. And I was like, wow, that was great. Like I felt really good leaving and I was like, okay, I feel good to go back despite the news that I received. But yeah, and also I was thinking, when I got fillings as a kid, I never got pain medication for it. Like, I never got, like, the numbing shot. They would just freaking drill. They were like, it's going to hurt for like a minute or something, and then you're...
What?
Yeah, nope. I never got it.
My mom was a dental assistant for like 10 years. So that's why I would go every 6 months because I'd never hear the end of it if I didn't. But I am such a baby when it comes to my mouth because I had braces for so long and I had like a corrupt orthodontist who ended up losing his license and like all this shit. But I get a shot just for a basic cleaning.
Really?
Because my gums and my teeth are so sensitive. You could request it.
Oh, okay.
They look at you like you're crazy, but I'm like, you're not touching my mouth unless you numb me completely. Like, because sometimes that numbing stuff doesn't even work. Like, they'll rub it on your gums, like the numbing gel or whatever. Yeah, no.
Can I say something brave yet controversial?
Sure.
Yes, always.
This is going to make me sound really stupid, but when I was younger, when I would have a cavity or like whatever, they would give you the shot, right? I think I've probably told this on the pod or I've told you guys in person or whatever. But they always said, now you're going to feel a little pinch, right? So I was like, okay, cool. And they did it and I was fine. And I legitimately, until I was probably too old, thought that there was a mechanism in modern dentistry that pinched a nerve and it caused your mouth to go numb. And then one day, they did not slyly pass the syringe out of my eyesight. They passed it directly over my eyeballs. And I was like, it's a needle? And I was like, from that moment on, I am so terrified. Even though like I'm not that scared of needles.
Yeah, but it's going in your mouth.
Yeah, and they sometimes put it in and then he like moves his hand. You know, like they like jab you, but then they kind of like move it sideways. I'm like, why are you twisting?
Because they're moving the liquid, I think, like to go. Oh, I know. It's bad. Dear. But then it makes it numb and then you're like in heaven and you don't feel anything until like 5 hours later. And then you're like, wow, I get hit with a softball, apparently, in my mouth.
I don't know why I never got the numbing stuff. I think maybe like for the first couple, because I did have a lot of cavities as a kid. But then after a while, they were like, do you want the numbing? It's just going to hurt for like 30 seconds. And maybe that's why I have such a high pain tolerance, because I do have a very high pain tolerance. But I endured that shit.
No.
Now I got to go through it again.
Wow.
And I'm almost like when I was talking to the dentist, they're like, okay, well, we have to do this in like several sessions. I'm like, can you just do them all at once? He's like, no, well, we can't numb like that much. I'm like, do you have to use the numb stuff? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay, I guess, like, sure. But anyway, so that's just my little...
You just want to get it over with.
I just want to get it over with. I don't have to go back there so many times. Like...
Yeah.
I
God,
get it.
just get it done.
When I got my braces off, they give you those clear retainers.
Yeah.
Either I wasn't paying attention, or my orthodontist, who is also just really crap. Like, I hated him. Anyway,
Same.
I didn't realize that I should take the retainer out if I'm going to drink soda.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I rocked up to the dentist like a year after getting my braces off, and they were like, you have 8 cavities between your teeth. And I... cried that entire ride home because I felt so much shame. Like, I felt like they were judging me. I felt like, I feel like it was the same situation where they were just like solemn and being like, oh, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do you think we have so much, and like not just us three, but like people in general have so much dental shame? Like, out of everything else, I feel like a lot of people carry that with them because it's like mouth hygiene, and like if we have cavities then we're not clean, like that. I can't wrap my head around it, but it's so freaking hard to go to the dentist.
I think it's just like generally uncomfortable, like your mouth open, being and your teeth are being scraped, like the sound is repulsive. The sound is bone chilling. Just thinking about the sound for like a few days after, I was like, I got chills. I think that's a big part of it. And I think a lot of people don't go regularly. So every time they go, they get bad news. So there's a negative association.
Yeah.
I think that's probably...
Okay, so did they take... Okay, so I went to the dentist. Obviously, I went to my growing up dentist, which their way of detecting cavities was scraping and poking until they found a sensitive spot.
Ooh.
But then I went to a dentist as I was an adult, and they like just took pictures with this like special camera, and that's how they recognized cavities?
Yeah.
Is that what yours did, Becca?
X-ray photos. Wait, they would just poke and prod your teeth until you like yipped?
Wow.
Yeah, so like the dental hygienist, they took x-rays and stuff, but I don't know if the x-rays really told. Maybe the x-rays like identified problem areas to them, and then they would poke around. But yeah, when they were like scraping your teeth, they would like poke, and if there was a soft spot, and usually it hurt when they poked it.
Oh my
Because obviously it's a cavity. But yeah, that's how they were like, oh, yep, there's one. And I'm like...
That is horrible. That is horrible.
Ow.
No, it was always x-rays for me. But the x-ray machines have become a lot more like advanced in the years, because I remember as a kid I'd have to bite down for so long to get the picture.
On those things that hurt. They're like cardboard pieces.
Yeah, it hurts. But now it's like it's like an iPhone photo. They do it so fast. So yeah, that was really nice. And the dental office I went to was a really nice one. But, every time I go to these places, like I used to get Brazilian waxes too, I think to myself, I shower regularly. I took a shower before I got here, and I used a baby wipe before I laid on the table. Like, I am not the person that they dread waxing. I know I'm not. Like, I'm not. And so in my mind, going into the dentist, like... I brush my teeth twice a day, okay? I'm not the person that they dread digging around in their mouth. So I just have to keep that in my mind. Not to put down other people, but like, I keep up with hygiene, okay? I am not the one that they dread.
100%.
Or maybe I am. Maybe I am. Dental hygienist, weigh in. Or maybe don't. I don't want to know.
Oh, I bet we could get some pretty crazy
Weigh
stories.
in if it's the affirmative. If it's not the affirmative, please don't comment.
I would like you to confirm my confirmation bias. But okay, that's my update. I really just wanted to spend some time on that, because if you do use Bite toothpaste, be prepared with a fluoride plan or get their fluoride bits, because and you know, there is a certain amount of guilt because I told people, hey, this is really great, you guys should try this, and here I am a year later or however long, and I have all these cavities, probably because I was using the toothpaste that was not the one for me. So
did they sponsor you? No, you just bought it, right?
no, I just shared. But like, there is a certain amount of responsibility. Like, I suggested something to an audience that trusts me, and then I was like not thinking through.
But that's a situation where like you're not going to know until months to a year later, like now.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not thinking about that.
Yeah. I just think like if you're going to follow someone's recommendation for something that really will affect your body and your health, do your own research first. Like, yeah, you can learn about these products, but make sure that you do a significant amount of research before. Because I was influenced to buy it, and I was just like, oh yeah, like this girl likes it, so I'm going to use it. She's been using it for years. I don't go to her dental appointments with her. I don't know what's going on under the hood. So like, you know?
Also, I saw a TikTok that said you should not use mouthwash immediately after brushing. Like that is very bad because, well, if you use a fluoride toothpaste. So apparently when you use a fluoride toothpaste, there's like 1,500 parts per million fluoride that stays on your teeth. But if you immediately rinse with a mouthwash, it rinses off all of that fluoride, and the mouthwash usually has like 200 parts per million. So you're like substituting what would be 1,500 with 200 parts per million.
Dang.
So they said you should at least wait 30 minutes after brushing your teeth before you mouthwash.
Oh, I'm not telling Jay that. I'm just kidding.
The nighttime routine just got 30 minutes longer. What the heck?
Well, what if you use mouthwash before you brush your teeth? Is that kind of stupid?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, because I brush my tongue.
Tongue scraping. Do you guys do tongue scraping?
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
ever
used
since
to
the original Queer Eye, when they talked about tongue scraping, I was like, I bought a tongue scraper. I was like in high school. I was like, yeah,
really?
We ain't having bad breath. Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to scrape my tongue, but it's so disgusting. Like I just cannot. I can't. Oh, I just can't. So I just thoroughly brush my tongue, and I get way back there. But like, still, I know I'm probably not getting it all.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that tongue scraping doesn't even really work. Like, I don't know. It's just like so many people have different like, oh, this works, this doesn't work. I'm like, okay, like. And they're dentists saying that. So it's like, I don't even know. Whatever. I just follow your own, what your own dentist says, I guess. That's all we really can do.
Yeah.
Or like find the one that matches with your routine and your personality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think.
And if someone tells you have bad breath, just reevaluate.
Go buy a tongue scraper.
Go buy a tongue scraper.
Can we bring back masks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know. I keep one in my purse again because they're kind of like starting to be a thing kind of again. I mean, I live in Missouri, so it's really, I'm sure it's more of a thing in other places. But I think as winter is coming around, like there's more of like a, hey, illness is running rampant, like wear a mask.
Yeah. I think it's more like of the flu, the new COVID variants. Like people are just like, I don't want to be sick for the holidays, so we're just gonna wear this thing.
I had a moment this week because I was watching a TV show, and it must have been filmed during the pandemic where you had to keep your masks on. Mm-hmm. So I'm like watching this show where everyone's in the same room talking, but they all have masks on, and I was like, I was a little bit triggered. And I hate using that word, but immediately I was like, oh my gosh, do you remember those times? Do you remember like, and it wasn't that long ago.
No.
And I feel like we're still kind of in it, but like, I feel like my brain has adjusted back to like a semi-normal state, whatever normal is benchmark would be. Mm-hmm. And then to see that again, I was like, oh my God, do you remember those days?
Yeah.
Like, that was wild.
I watched a video because I follow a lot of wedding videographers, and someone just posted a video from like their 1 year anniversary, like whatever. And there was a dance scene in the video and everyone had masks on, but like it must have been high peak COVID time because they had like the N95 masks and some had like plastic shields on their face. And I was like, what the hell? Like, just watching that was like, we're in a like an apocalyptic state. Like, that's what it felt like. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I'm at weddings now every weekend, and I just don't see anyone wearing masks anymore. It's really not a thing over here. So, yeah, it was weird to think that that was just 2 short years ago when we were in the thick of it, you know?
Into the thick of it.
Truly. Yeah. Truly. It is weird to think about that. Oh, yeah. It feels like years ago. But it is nice that whole thing has like normalized people just wearing them when they're sick, though, or if they might be sick or they have a cough. Like, it's not weird. Like 5 years ago, if someone wore one of those, it'd be like, oh, they're gonna die. Like, that person is not doing well. Now it's like, oh, like, I might be coming down with something and I need groceries, but I don't want to.
Right.
It's just like not weird.
Or if they're just not comfortable. But I will admit, which this is a little like bad on my part to admit, but my brain automatically now, when I see someone in a mask, like in the grocery store, like my brain goes to like, oh, that person must have COVID. Because like the CDC said, you don't really have to quarantine much anymore if you don't have any symptoms. Just wear a mask when you go out, you know? So like my brain goes there and I'm like, oh, that person has COVID, you know? Like
Stay
not
away.
thinking like, ew, but like thinking like, dang, that sucks for them, you know? But like, I don't know why my brain does that. But it could just be somebody not feeling comfortable about it or just not wanting to get sick.
Yeah. I will say not wearing a mask on a plane feels really weird. Like when I was traveling to California, I think on the plane ride there, I didn't wear it for one of them. And the second one, I was like, I don't like this. Like for some reason, the plane, even though the air circulates on a plane so much, I was still like, I'm way too close to these people.
Close to,
Yeah. And I got COVID from sitting in a car. Like
right.
You can get it.
Right.
But anyway, okay. Freak, that was a really long chat. Someone else.
Nicole, let's hear your update.
Oh, gosh. I really don't have much of an Okay. A little bit. We're having a garage sale this weekend.
Ooh.
And which is fine. I'm kind of regretting that I agreed to do this because it's going to be really nice this weekend. It's supposed to be like 65 to 70 all weekend, like beautiful, perfect weather to go to a pumpkin patch. But that's okay because like knowing that we're going to do this has kind of had me like cleaning out drawers and like going through all my clothes, which I'm realizing I don't have a lot of, which I guess is a good thing. My husband does have a lot. I'm like, can you just go through this? I mean, there might be some t-shirts there from 20 years ago that you never wear that you might want to sell. You never know, you know? And he did. So that's good. But like, I don't know, like just going through stuff and realizing what you have and what you don't have, making space. It kind of feels nice, you know?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So we're going to do that this weekend, and it's going to be like Saturday and Sunday. And I didn't have any weddings last weekend, so I kind of just hung out with my friend and my kids, and it was nice. It was just like a relaxing weekend. So it's been kind of chill. I'm doing a lot more family sessions now. I feel like it's the season for that because everybody wants pictures with the leaves. I think I talked about this last week. But they want like photos with the leaves still beautiful. But then we had that snow. So did it snow by you, Becca?
Not at all. Okay, well, it got down to like 24 last night. So like it could have.
Wow.
But
okay.
Yeah, it didn't though.
Yeah, it snowed. I posted on Instagram. It was like blizzard snow too. My mom's like, what the fuck is this?
Did it stick?
And no, it didn't stick.
Okay.
No. I think Wisconsin got some and it's stuck like maybe not even half an inch, but they considered it the first snowfall of the season because it came down like so fast and so heavy, but the ground's not frozen yet, so it's not going to stick. But it was so pretty. Like the dogs were outside playing, but then I was like, wait, Halloween needs to happen before this can happen. Like I'm not in Christmas mode yet, you know, or Thanksgiving mode yet. So it was weird to have snow in the middle of October because I don't think we've gotten snow that early in a while. It's been a minute. But yeah, it's been kind of chilly. Hence your vest that you're wearing inside.
Yeah, it's cold in my house. It has been chilly.
Yeah.
I mean, this weekend is going to be warm down here too. So I'm thankful that we have, maybe it's like our last warm weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be in the same time zone as you all. And I was really hoping it wouldn't get low again because I want to see fall colors in Indiana.
Yes.
I'm hoping the leaves will stick around because usually after like the first freeze, they kind of just, like we talked about before, they kind of just like yeet off the tree. So I'm hoping some will stick around.
Yeah.
I think that you'll be good because you'll be down there, on Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll see
I think
them.
you'll be fine. Because it's going to steadily get warmer to the weekend. So I think you'll be good. And I mean, Indiana's so close to where I'm at. Like, you're going to get some pretty foliage down there.
Yeah.
We're all so close to each other.
It makes me so upset that, like, I'm not working the next, like, week and a half. And we're going to be so close to each other.
It's literally like 5 hours away. It's a day trip.
I know. Listen, if you want to get me out of this garage sale, I'm down. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had going on. So let's hear your update because you're packing again.
Yeah, doing plant chores. Instagram is letting everyone know I'm taking care of plants because I'm taking photos of them. But yeah, I don't know. Not much has gone on this week, although I feel like I'm in a season where I'm like kind of recklessly spending money right now. Do you guys ever have those moments where you're just like, "Ooh, I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff right now"?
Yeah.
Yeah, too often.
Okay. I got a new iPhone, which ordered it. It hasn't come. It won't come until November, which I don't understand why, but whatever.
It's like
and
the computer
I
all
have an
over
Apple
again.
Card. Yeah, I have an Apple Card, so it's monthly installments to that. So it's not like I'm dropping all this money like in one bang.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that. And then I was like, I want new sheets on the bed. And I don't skimp on sheets because I am a firm believer of put your money where your time is spent. So sheets,
Yeah.
I want a restful sleep. Towels, I bought new towels because I want good quality towels. I mean, I'm using it every day. Well,
Yep.
okay. That's a stretch, but when I shower.
Okay. An honest king.
So I bought new sheets and immediately we had to wash them and put them on the bed because I was like, we're sleeping on these tonight. Like I need, and
Yeah.
it was just like, ugh. There's nothing better than
cozy.
sliding into freshly clean, brand new sheets.
True.
The
Yes.
best. And then we bought a new couch because I have been like yearning for a sectional because Steve and I do like to cuddle. And I always think like, I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
We've been in this a while on the couch, like we're snuggling. But
Because
like,
you just had like a regular size couch, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. I'm 6'4". Like I barely fit on the couch alone. So it's just like, anyway, so I've been wanting a sectional. We went to Living Spaces and we found one that we really liked. I mean, I loved the color of it. But then we also went to another, we were driving to Living Spaces to buy that couch. And I was like, should we just check this America Furniture Warehouse just to, make sure that we're making an informed decision? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we get to this one, and there was another leather sectional that I did not like the color to, but it was 50% of the cost of the first one. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, well, I can deal with not liking the color if it's 50%. So we went with that one.
Oh, so
And
the
then
one that you sent us, you don't really care for the color?
No, because I'm more of like a camel brown kind of guy.
Okay.
Like a lighter brown, like a more vibrant brown, not like a deep brown.
Okay.
But I'll spruce it up with some pillows, which I did buy at World Market. I went on a pillow buying spree.
Oh, World Market has the best pillows, but yeah, they're a little
Yeah.
pricey.
Yeah, like I told you, reckless. Like I'm like evaluating my mental health. Like, am I in like a moment of a manic episode? Like, because I do have these situations where I want it, I get it. Like, and then sometimes I'm like, did I need that? No. So I don't know. But here we are. And we're getting a new couch. We got all new pillows. We got a new throw.
When does the couch come?
New sheet. I think in a couple weeks, because there was one piece that wasn't in stock here, so they're shipping it from Colorado.
Okay. Ooh,
but I'm
fun.
so excited to like snuggle into this couch and finally get rid of Steve's futon that he's had since he was in college that for some reason he just does not want to get rid of. And I'm like, bro,
that futon.
Oh, dear.
That futon is going out to the curb immediately. We weren't using it. It's in the front room, but now the front room is going to get replaced with our old couch. So I'm like, goodbye futon.
Yeah.
Goodbye futon. If you guys are interested in what the futon is, you can see it in one of our videos when we played Plant Pictionary.
Oh, yeah. The first Pictionary video. We sat on the futon. We bought a special cover because I was like, I am not going to have this 25-year-old futon pad be in a YouTube video. I was like, you need to find a cover.
No, you didn't, really?
Yes, that gray cover, it was because of that video.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know if you've ever told us that.
I didn't know
That's
that.
so funny. Well, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited to just like snuggle in and have that couch for Christmas. And Lindsay Lohan's going to be in a new Netflix Christmas movie. And I'm just like really excited for that comeback. Yeah.
I love Lindsay.
Oh.
I'm so excited for that. It's going to be such an iconic movie.
Yeah.
I know.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all for my update. And since we're talking Christmas movies, I guess we should talk about our topic, winterizing plants, at 45 minutes into the episode.
Hello, everybody.
15 more
this
minutes
was
of
Patreon
chat.
vibes.
Yeah, 15 more minutes of chat, and we've got a Patreon episode.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah, as we've noted, it's cold. And
It's cold.
Yeah.
This time, the coldness kind of crept up on me. Like, it was like yesterday I was like, oh shit, I have to bring in all of my cactus because it's going to be 24 degrees. And I normally bring them in at 30 degrees when it's actually freezing 32 degrees. I'll leave them out until then because if you didn't know, cactus can handle that. Euphorbia not so much, but cactus can. I don't know about succulents. I don't have many, but my succulents did fine out there up to this point. But I brought them in and I'm like so stressed. My house, every winter I get to this point, like how everyone's like, oh, spring cleaning. No, it's fall and winter cleaning. Yeah, because you bring everything in and you're like, what the hell? Why do I have so much shit?
Yeah.
Wait, so the greenhouse isn't plant ready yet?
No. So no. But
okay.
It's
sorry.
Almost. Almost.
Okay.
We're so close. It will be by the end of October. Like I am manifesting that.
Nice.
But we just need to put in like the fans and the heater and then get the front door. And then then we can. Once the front door is in and the fans and the heaters are in, then yes, we can. And then I'll just have to work on building the benches and stuff in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, I was really relying on that this winter. I mean, for this winter because I was buying plants more than I should have. And I don't have room. And I'm really overwhelmed. And I'm like about to chuck things out the door and be like, well, sorry. But I just...
that was me too.
Yeah, I just need to hold on for a few more weeks because I will be happy that I waited. Because it's just so close. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like I dodge the having to winterize. I don't keep a ton of plants outside, but I do have few, and we only get like 1 or 2 maybe below freezing temps a year, and in those times we have a lot of frost covers for like the plumeria that I keep outside and the Madagascar palm and a rubber tree. So I do cover those. So I won't have a lot to input here because not a lot changes with my plant care for the winter. Like I don't change fertilizers because a lot of my plants are on supplemental light. So I'm just like, we're just doing the same thing year round.
Yeah.
But I know that's not the case for both of you, which sucks because like Actually, it doesn't. I'm glad that I don't have an outside area where I could take plants out, because I would be in the same situation of I would put a bunch of plants outside, refill those spots inside, and then when I have to bring them in, I would be like, well, shit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I had 2 cactus outside a few days ago, and of course I don't have any Dela tanks because I used it all when I brought all of my other cactus in and euphorbia and plants. So I had 2 bigger ones, and they were the ones from, well, one of them was the one from our Tiny Hands repot video. So I was like, I can't lose this plant, you know? And my mom's like, you need to repot these plants. So my ass runs to Home Depot and gets like some cactus mix and orchid bark. And I was like, we're going to make it work. And they were so root bound because that plant hasn't been repotted since Tiny Hands.
Oh my
So
God.
it was just like, I know, which was what, 3 years ago?
Was that the Jacob's coat, like prickly pear?
Yes.
Yeah, I still have mine too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was like 3 years ago. Yeah, it was.
And
I mean,
used,
it was.
And we used Miracle Grow soil for that, I think.
I think we did.
No
we did.
amendments. No amendments. It was thick.
No. Cactus. I'm telling you, they are so resilient. People just, they don't know, you know? Now you do. So I repotted it and it was so root bound. I think I took a picture. Oh, I hope I took a picture. But I was shocked. I was like, look at this. There's virtually no soil left in this plant. It's all roots.
Dang.
So I uppotted and now it's happy in the office. But those were the last 2 plants I had to bring in because I was terrified of them dying. And I just, you know, they probably would have been fine, just like yours probably would have been fine. But, you know, why risk it? You don't want to risk it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sucks when we're in this time, though, in the Midwest where you have a night that's going to get down to 25 and then this weekend's going to be 70. You know, it's like I didn't have to rush and do all that work and like uproot my whole plant space for a night. You know, it's annoying, but
yeah,
we do it every year.
We've definitely talked about this in the past. We've done episodes where our seasonal change and stuff. And we do know that Nicole is like, she repots everything before it comes inside. And so that stayed the same this year. You repotted everything before you brought it inside for the winter?
Mostly everything, because I had a lot of cactus in smaller pots this time around, which I did last year. Last year I had like some cactus gardens and I separated them. So they needed to be repotted because they grew quite a bit and the roots were like coming out of the bottom of the pot. So I want to say I repotted like 3/4 of my cactus. Yeah.
Okay. And do you use like an insecticidal soap before you bring it in, or do you just like free ball it, raw dog it?
So this, I have used insecticide. We used that phrase twice this week. I feel like no. I've used insecticidal soap in the past, but this past winter I just used a little diatomaceous earth just to get any of the critters that could possibly be in there. But I feel like if I poke around the top a little bit and I don't see anything and then I like water it thoroughly and nothing comes out of the bottom, I'm like, there's probably nothing living in here, you know? And like, what do I have to worry about? Like an occasional spider or earwig or centipede? Like they're in my house anyway, you know? Like,
okay. I mean, I'm going to have to call you out here because I've seen a video where you've faced a bug and you're just like, oh, it's no big deal. But I've seen your reaction to a centipede being in a pot. So I'm going to call BS on that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't freak out. I'm just saying, like, I don't have to worry about snakes or scorpions like some of us do, you know?
Yeah, true.
So I just used some diatomaceous earth, which I don't know if diatomaceous earth would necessarily work on like a 2-inch centipede. Like they're pretty thick. Like, is it really going to hurt them?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it kills scorpions. It just it's
it
basically
does.
Anything with an exoskeleton. It just like
Okay.
slices it up and dries it out.
Great.
Yep. I know it's so violent, but gotta love that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I just used a little bit of that. What I did was I kind of like poked around in the top, kind of scraped the top, sprinkled it, and then I topped it with some stone and called it a day. So
Yeah.
It was a lot less work to do that than to go through the whole insecticidal soap thing. Because I just remember one year when I was living in my house before we moved here, I did insecticidal soap on all of my plants because I had a lot of plants outside, like non-cactus, and they didn't need to be repotted. Like sometimes you just shouldn't repot your plants if they don't need it because they could end up dying just from that. So I did insecticidal soap and I feel like it took forever. Like it took a long time.
Yeah, it's a process. And I feel like it's probably a process that should be started like early October because like you can still leave them outside but spray them down. Like even with a garden hose sprayer kind of thing, spray them down like every couple days just to make sure you're not going to be bringing pests into your home.
Right.
Not just ones in the soil, but on the foliage as well. But yeah, it is work.
Yeah. One year we brought in, which I think was that year, we had so many plants outside. I mean, I'm talking like 50 plus plants. I think I have a video on my YouTube channel of them all like sitting on an outdoor patio table and it was very overwhelming. But we had what was it? I was like a palm something. We got it from IKEA. Now I can't think of what it was. But we brought it in and we brought it in the basement. And I swear I checked this plant, did insecticidal soap, everything. And we ended up bringing in this gigantic praying mantis. And it was so big. And it was so cool, though. I was like, we have to get it out. It's going to die in here, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like an hour process of Jay grabbing a stick and like us trying to get it out. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, sometimes you bring friends inside that you don't necessarily want to bring in, and they don't want to be in there.
So Becca, you don't repot everything, but what's your system, or do you just like again raw dog it and just indoors?
Yeah, honestly, this year I raw dogged it.
Yeah, sorry, I should stop using that.
Oh, well, I just used it.
Okay, good, thank you. You make me feel better.
It's better than saying like balls deep. Like, come on.
Patreon. If you're looking for some more content like this, feel free to join our Patreon.
Some more adult content. X-rated adult content. No. I'm going to stop myself.
We gained 10 patrons right now.
Yeah, so okay, well I did end up repotting 2 of my ficus, but not because I brought them in. It was just because they actually needed it. So it wasn't, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it was just because they needed it. Because they grow a lot when they're out there, and I hadn't repotted them. I repotted them last year before I brought them in. And I think that's just sort of the routine now. But I repotted them in a pot that was like very big, which might be a mistake, but they seem to be doing just fine. So, yeah, I don't think I'll have to repot them next year, but I will be bringing those to the greenhouse. So I don't know if they'll actually live outside next year. But with the foliage, like, because frogs live on my plants a lot. We have lots of tree frogs where I live. Do you have tree frogs, Nicole?
No.
Okay.
None.
They're so cute
wish.
when they're on the plants. Like when they're on the leaves, it's adorable.
I know.
They're just
So
like a frog blob.
I know.
Like, just chilling.
They're so cute. So that's what I deal with. I don't really deal with like a lot of other stuff on the leaves. Like God willing, I have not found. Would it be God willing? I don't know. I have not found pests on the leaves, but I do every time I water them. I'm like spraying down the leaves. Just I don't know, to keep stuff off. So I do that before I bring them in. I'll wash the leaves down with the hose sprayer and then wait a little bit and then bring them in, and then they just sort of sit in a neutral spot, like which is the sunroom. And then I'll move them into other parts of the house, but only after they've acclimated, because I don't want to put them in like dark corner from being outside. Yeah. So like outside to dark corner is like a 360 for that. Well, not 360, 180. It's like completely different. So yeah, I normally put them in the sunroom for a little bit and then I'll move them. But they're just going to be moved into the greenhouse this year. So my routine's a bit different, but the sunroom is looking bad. It is so full, and I just have cactus everywhere. And I'm trying to put cactus in places where it's not going to poke people because it's painful. And yeah. So I didn't do any sort of spraying. Normally I would do like some sort of insecticidal soap situation, but I just didn't do it this year. And we'll see if I hate myself for that later. I might. Who knows? But
yeah,
nothing with wings has come in that I'm aware of. I mean,
yeah.
And they'll be going out to the greenhouse shortly, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, within like a couple weeks. And also the sunroom is kind of like an indoor patio. That's really how I treat it. It's like a mud room. Like most of my plants live in there. And so if things are dirty, if things have a bug, it's going to be contained to that room.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like centipedes are going to find their way out of the soil and into my bed. I mean, that's quite a bit of a move for them.
It's a journey.
Yeah, that's like a trek, quite the trek. But you know, finding stuff like that in my plant soil does not bother me. I mean, I don't want to touch it, but like if I see it, I'm like, oh, okay. Like something was living in the soil. Like it's like soil is like living, breathing organism, in my opinion, in my mind as well. So if I see that kind of stuff, if I see like springtails or if I see like soil mites, I'm never bothered by that. I'm not trying to get rid of them. Like, you know how people are like, oh, how do I get rid of springtails?
Yeah.
You don't. Like, you just leave it. It's just like
they don't do anything. Yeah.
Right.
I still get them in LECA. Like, they're still in my hydro plants. And I'm like, all right, clean the algae, boys.
Yeah.
Because that's what I need done.
Oh, I've never seen them in my LECA plants. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But also, Becca, can we backtrack to you saying you don't want to touch them? Because there was a video that I saw not that long ago of a gigantic daddy long-leg on the side of the greenhouse. And when I tell you that I screamed at this point in the video, this thing was so long, it had to have been bigger than the size of your hand. And you're just like, come on, little buddy. I mean, bless your heart, because I wish I loved insects the way you do. Because my life would be a little easier when I find bugs in the basement, because we live downstairs. So, like, we have our share of friends down there, you know?
Yeah. See,
and your little jumpy spider, like, did you give it a name yet? Because at this point, she's pretty much living there rent free.
She is. It's so funny too, because I think it's the same one. Okay, so if you're not caught up on the drama, there was a jumping spider that was in my plants in the kitchen, and okay, jumping spiders are not like mean at all. They're the
cutest.
Yeah, they're super cute.
They're so cute.
And they're friendly. They're curious. Like, seriously.
Very smart, too. They can recognize someone who takes care of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, there's this TikTok account that shows jumping spiders under a macro lens. They are so cute, Nicole. They are so cute. They have, like, little paws. They, like, move their paws.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fuzzy. They're a little fuzzy, so I see where the word cute can play in here.
Yeah.
But it's a spider with 8 legs. I cannot.
Okay, but like, the one that lives in my house, though, is so cute. And and see, it's really sweet because I love her. And I was so sad when I couldn't find her, because I found her like every Sunday for like 3 weeks. She would come out. She would just make herself known. And I'm like, hey girl, like, what's up? But it had been like a few months since I've seen her. And then I was just doing things in the plant room, and I look up, and one of the plants that I brought in from outside, she was sitting on my ficus, and I was just like, hey, it's you again. And like, I don't know for certain that it was her, but I think it was, because she looks like slightly bigger.
It looks the same. It looks like the same spider, but like a little fatter.
Yeah.
But she's probably feasting, you know?
Yeah, I imagine she's finding a lot of good stuff in there. Like, she found the mecca of spider food, really. I'm sure she did. But There's lots of stuff around that plant room. But yeah, she just like jumps around on the plants. And like, the thing is like, I never see her. So I don't really care. Like, spiders don't scare me really, unless it's like a bad one or they move really fast. And I don't like that. But, we were working on the greenhouse the other day and we were up on the ladder and there was a spider that like made a home in our ladder. And I thought that Dan would freak out, but he's like, "Oh, Becca, it's a jumping spider. Like, come look at it." And so we were both on top of the ladder, like, "Oh, hi." Like, we're like talking to it.
Fuck.
No. If anybody saw us, like, throughout the day of us working on it, like, we kept checking in with the spider and like we kept trying to give it bugs to eat, but like the bugs would fly away before we could give it to it. And like we were trying to get it to get on our hand, and it was just. But like when we would talk, like when I would talk, it would turn and look at me. But when Daniel would talk, it would turn and look at him. I'm like, this thing is so smart. Like it just knows. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that. But
it was really cute. So I hope that I have like a good amount of jumping spiders in the greenhouse.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you're going to get like a variety. Ladybugs.
Yeah.
And if you get a pest, you can release all the beneficials.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
totally. I could just release them.
That's got to be cool.
That's going to be exciting.
Yep.
I just sent you guys a video of a jumping spider that I had under my macro lens. And he's the cutest.
Listen, agree to disagree here.
Nicole, I think you just need to experience them in a non-fear-based setting.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you to finish the greenhouse. And like you said, like you can build your benches as like time goes on, you know? Oh, here we go.
Oh my God.
Do I want to watch this?
The sound that I just made.
Do I want to watch this?
Oh.
That is.
It sounded like I had an O, literally. That's so embarrassing. That looks like my sweet little one.
Oh.
Look at it. Okay, Nicole, do you see like the little like antenna looking things right underneath its eyes?
Yeah, it's on your finger.
Those are its little
they're
paws.
so sweet.
Oh.
Also,
Okay.
fun fact / common misconception: daddy longlegs are not actually spiders.
True.
They're not?
They're in the arachnid family, but spiders have 2 body segments and daddy longlegs only have 1. So they're not considered spiders.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. Wait, did you guys see in my houseplant tour how the daddy longlegs just like saw itself out?
Yes. that I thought that was funny. The music you put behind that, I was cracking up. That was great.
Oh. But yeah, so as far as bugs go, I haven't seen any, but I didn't I didn't really check. So we'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Keep us updated. Okay, so real quick, like, do you guys change your fertilizer habits in the winter?
So no, I actually don't fertilize in like the end of the fall or throughout all of winter. So I usually just start like end of April-ish is when it starts to get warm, and like that's like when I bring my plants out, but I don't fertilize in the winter. Do you, Becca?
No. Well, no. Okay, if the plants are still actively growing, then I'll probably fertilize, but I usually slow it down in the winter because the sunroom gets pretty cold. Like I keep it at like 65 if I can, but it's usually like 60. Like I think in there right now it's like 58, but I don't let it get lower than 55 in that room. But because the room doesn't have any like air to it, it is just like relying on that space heater thing. So I don't want to overdo it. So the plants do go into dormancy.
All of my plants, the majority of my plants are in passive hydro. So I do continue my nutrient solution, as I'm sure you do as well, Nicole, for those plants that are in LECA. So
Yes.
Kind of fertilizing, but your soil plants, you just don't add anything.
Correct. Yeah, for my, I should have specified. For my LECA plants, I don't change anything, any routine, because I mean, those plants are getting the same thing all year. And I mean, really, like I have my cactus on a heat mat and they're under grow lights. So technically, if I wanted them to benefit more, I could probably fertilize throughout the winter because they're probably not going into dormancy because I'm giving them supplemental light and heat. But I don't. I just don't. I cut it out in the winter.
Mm-hmm. Actually, here's a thought. So if you do passive hydro, do you even technically have to fertilize? Because the reason you fertilize is because the soil nutrients gets used up. So you have to replace it. So you're doing that every time you give the plant new nutrient water. So you don't really have to fertilize at all.
Right. That's what we mean.
So that's what I'm like, in my head, that's fertilizer, the nutrient solution.
So I guess like
feeding them.
not superfood. What is it? Like Super Thrive, like that boost.
Yeah, you could do that.
A boost.
So Becca, with the plants in your cabinet, so you aren't going to fertilize them, even though like year round they're going to have the same environment?
I do fertilize those ones. Yes. That's okay. Yeah. Okay. Good distinction. I do fertilize those. And, in the wintertime, I need to supplement the humidity in that room, in that little space, because in the summertime, it can stay about 70% without me doing anything, as long as the plants are watered. But I just checked and it's like 30, which is so low. It's like, that's like lower than the rest of my house. So, actually my house might be 36 right now if I'm seeing that correctly, but humidity goes so low in my house in the wintertime, and we should talk about humidifiers. I'm not using one this year. I'm over it.
I'm not over either.
I've been over them for a while.
Yeah.
Me too. It's sitting in my closet.
I just can't do it. Like if I notice that a plant is putting out a new leaf, I would rather take the time to periodically mist that leaf to make sure it doesn't rip itself. But I just don't think I'm interested in doing the humidifier thing this year. It's just so much work.
It's so much work. I think if I had like a grow cabinet like you have, I might get like a small one. But it's a lot of work. Like one of those tanks, like in my Elacombs, only lasts like 6 hours, 8 hours, and then it's like you're having to fill it again. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But I haven't used mine.
And honestly, I don't think it really does much. Like I hate saying that because I've always been like, use a humidifier. But unless the plant is like on top of the humidifier or directly next to it, I really don't think it's doing anything because our rooms are quite large. Like the humidity has so many places to go that it's not going to be concentrated very well.
Right.
See, and I think over the years, I've just kind of gotten the humidity hose out of my collection.
Yeah.
Like it was,
Me too.
I've been in such a mindset since moving to Arizona of like, if you can't hang in ambient, then like you're not the plant for me. Of course, like cabinets and stuff like that are great. And I eventually will probably get one because I just love the fact that I could put plants in like a room where I don't have, a lot of natural light. But the cabinets kind of like boost the humidity themselves, and so you don't need a lot of extra stuff. But like I was just overfilling tanks. I was over like seeing that like kind of pinkish bacteria that can sometimes grow on humidifiers, and like cleaning them, and just like all of the nonsense that goes along with it. I was just like, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah. And the stress of like, if your humidifier isn't cleaned properly, you're putting nasty stuff in the air that you breathe. That's what was stressing me out towards the end, is like there's like stuff in my humidifier even though I clean it. Like you have to clean it so often, and if you don't, like you should not be using a humidifier unless you're willing to clean it pretty often.
And then the whole like distilled versus tap water like controversy, it's annoying. I'm just like, I'm over it.
Yeah. Well, for a while I was getting distilled water delivered, and that solved that issue for me because it wasn't much more than the cost of filling them myself.
It's not.
So I was pretty satisfied with that. But then if I was actually actively filling my tank as much as I should have, I would need like 4 of those 5-gallon jugs. It was just, at that point, I'm like, this feels wasteful. It's not doing much anyway.
Yeah,
I agree.
So.
I wonder how many people, I wonder if that'd be a deep dive episode to like find out how many people who, because, we all first got into plants and we were like, we have to have a humidifier. Everyone has to have a humidifier. And now we've kind of done a 180 on that. And I wonder how many others have as well,
Yeah, that'd be a good topic to talk about. We could do like a poll and get people's opinions on it.
Yeah.
So basically, this winter we're raw dogging and going dry. That's what it is.
We're going in dry.
That's what we're doing.
Sorry. Oh, is that about it for this episode? Any other winter like tidbits or stuff?
I want to say one last thing. Do you have to go? Okay. So I was thinking one last thing is my fiddly fig is still outside.
Oh,
and
Figgy Smalls.
Figgy Smalls. And it definitely got down to, I think it was 28 last night. Now I haven't been out the front door yet today. I'll be going out there in like an hour. But she's hanging on. I have to repot it because it's been a minute since I repotted it. But that's just one of those plants that I just was like, I think I'm just going to leave you outside. And I think I talked about this before, and it could just die a slow death. I feel like people need to be give themselves grace when it comes to like this time of the year. If you have a lot of plants outside and it's a lot to bring in, you may not be in that mental space to have time to do it. If there's a few plants that just don't bring you joy anymore and you just want to leave them outside, don't feel bad about that. Like, I think that that's fine. I don't think that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we're already going into a season where it affects people's mental health just because the sun disappears for a good chunk of the day, so overloading yourself with plants that you just are keeping out of obligation, just don't do it.
Just don't do it. And I mean, I've had that fiddly fig since the beginning of my plant collecting. Like, it's been a long time. She'll lose leaves. She'll gain leaves. She's not very tall. She's just there, So I'm still in that space where I'm like, if I walk out there and she's still alive today, maybe I'll repot it and bring it in, because she would deserve that. And maybe I can find the time to do that. But if she's like droopy and she looks like she's hanging on, I'm like, you could just stay your ass right there, queen.
Well, if she stays outside, I feel like you need to take like either a daily or every other day photo and just like show the progression of what winter does to Figgy Smalls.
Yes, I will.
And block the haters.
I almost want to do that.
Yeah.
Block the haters.
Yeah. That is definitely like, I don't know. As I was saying before, like spring cleaning, like it's fall cleaning, you guys. It's fall cleaning.
Yeah.
I am telling myself that I'm going to make listings on my local Facebook group and sell some plants rather than just letting them die, because I feel like I've got the mental space to do that. But there's definitely times where I'm like, just toss it. I can't do this. But I think I'm going to make some listings, at least for I have a silver sword and I just have not liked it for like a couple months now. And it's a beautiful plant, but I'm just like, it's not for me. So.
Yeah. And just like in your posting, you can say like, meet me at this place in town from these times, like from 12 to 1 on Saturday. Like if you can't pick up then just don't.
Yeah.
Because you obviously don't want people coming to your house.
Yeah. So. Be careful about telling people where you live, even if you're not an internet creator. You just don't know.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
When I was selling furniture a couple months ago. Sorry. I'm on a rant. No. When I was selling furniture a couple months ago, I was like so nervous about having people come to my house because I couldn't load up the furniture and like,
Yeah.
I was just like, let's hope they're not weird.
Yeah.
Just come to the door in a Michael Myers mask and be like, I'm sorry, this is just me.
Yeah.
Like, my skin's sensitive, so I have to cover it.
This is me. One last winter tip I want to say before we close out this very long episode is wash your windows inside and out. That is such an important thing to do because obviously the sun semi goes away, so we're getting less daylight. You want to make sure that, I'm just going to keep going even though Becca dropped off. You want to make sure that as much light that you can get into your home as possible is happening. And if your windows are dirty, it's refracting some of that light. It's not coming into your plants. So clean your leaves and also clean your windows. And I promise you'll notice a difference. Like my windows are so dirty right now and I'm just like, I need to get out there and do it. And I'm lucky because it's a good temperature year round here.
Yeah.
But if you have a warm day, so this weekend, if it's going to be warm,
Get it
clean
done.
those windows. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. At least the windows that are near your plants.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Is that everything?
I think so.
Better be.
All right. Better be. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us in this episode today. Leave your winter tips. If you have some hot tips that we didn't cover, leave it on the post for today's episode over on Instagram at pottedtogether. You can find us individually on Instagram as well. Becca is at De La Plants. Nicole is at My Clean Leaves. And my handle is at Not Dude. And as we've mentioned many times in this episode, we do have a Patreon. So if you'd like what we put out, if you like the vibe, if you want to show some support, we would really appreciate you joining our Patreon. It helps keep this podcast going, and it's just a fun time.
It
Also,
is.
I did buy, because I was in a shop in Omaha, I forgot to show you guys this, but I bought an X-rated Mad Libs book, so we don't have to like search for them online.
Oh,
Shut up.
hell yes.
Level up.
Level
up.
Okay, we've been doing...
We're still gonna need the breakdown of what an adjective is and an adverb.
in every recording.
But we're so
I
glad
wanted
that
to
Becca's
do-
English teacher.
I wanted to do a spooky Halloween Mad Lib, and we ran out of time. But that's okay because next Monday is our spooky. It's Halloween next Monday, you guys.
Yay! Or should we say, ooh.
What are you doing with that ghost there and that hand action?
No, I don't even know why I did that. I think I was mimicking the shape of my mouth. Ew, wait.
Don't worry, no one took a screenshot, so you're good.
Let's hope not.
All right. That's it, right?
Yeah.
No more
Yes.
housekeeping. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
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 Goodbye. Goodbye. Like, you know, and like at the end of Edelweiss and Sound of Music. All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.